Welcome to another Fact or Fiction Friday. I am the guinea pig, Christopher McHale. He is the professor, Jason Parsons. And this week, we have a good one. A lot of people are on these crazy cleanses, these crazy detoxes. I've done them. I'm sure you have. Don't know if he has. We'll find out. So today, we're talking about how detox diets, cleanses, rid the body of toxins. Mr. Parsons, what's going on here?
Every year, January 1st comes around and people have their New Year's resolutions. They want to get in shape, lose some weight, run faster, jump higher, whatever their specific goals are. These New Year's resolutioners, typically the people that have those kinds of goals also have really a short period of time they want to accomplish these amazing things in, right? I want to lose 30 pounds in 4 days or some ridiculous thing. I know myself as a trainer have experienced many new clients coming to me saying they want to get this thing done in this much time. And unfortunately that urgency, that desire to accomplish a huge undertaking with the body in as soon of a time as possible kind of perpetuated this concept up here, right? So detox diets and cleanses, and these two things are kind of the same thing. It looks like different words, but it's actually the same. Detox, getting rid of toxins, and cleanses, cleansing of toxins. It's very common, very popular, especially around the new year, because people, well, just to be blunt, they don't know how their bodies work.
They also drink a lot. They think it's going to help them from all the alcohol they drink.
That is true. The New Year's time is just following when people had the holidays. We had Thanksgiving and Christmas and then New Year's, where you probably ate way too much and sat around and it's cold where you live, right? You didn't do too much. Probably drank way too much on New Year's Eve. Right? People
That's the same time I lost all this weight.
That is true. That is true. You're the opposite of the average person. So you're shrinking going into the new year. They're building up into the new year, right? So kudos to you, sir. So with that being said, I think it's important for me to talk about this topic, that we really kind of define toxins, because it's this word that's just thrown around haphazardly with the common populace, and most people don't know what the heck they're talking about here. So I would ask people, including yourself, as I originally first started talking about this concept a while back, what toxins are these diets and supplements and other such things that are out there purporting to get rid of? I challenge you to go look at the bottle, read the menu plan or diet plan that these different manufacturers and representatives out there say they're getting rid of these toxins. What are they? You won't find any place out there a list of what the toxins they're talking about are. And there's a reason for that. One, they don't know, because they're just making up and jumping onto the bandwagon of using fancy words that sound bad for you. Toxins, oh, it's going to kill you, right? And two, the reality is toxins, as defined, is really about two things. It's context and quantity of any substance, right? So I'll explain that. What that means is in context, right? Context. So this chocolate bar over here, yummy, yummy. Eating chocolate is one of my favorite yummy things. I'll have some chocolate at night. My wife loves dark chocolate. I like milk chocolate. A lot of people like chocolate, right? It's very good. So in small amounts, chocolate can actually be good for your body. It can actually help you. There's certain chemicals inside that help your body be operating a little better. But if I drop a piece on the floor and my little dog gets a hold of that chocolate, the theobromine, one of the things inside chocolate, could kill my dog. So contextually, for me, the human, chocolate could be a good thing. For my dog, it becomes a bad thing. So toxin can be contextual, relative to who's consuming it. Additionally, and the more important part that I like to talk about is the quantity. There's an old saying, the dose makes the poison, right? And so we exchange poison for toxin in this case. And we'll take as an example, I like to use this with my clients because it's really exaggerative, but it helps to drive the point home. This little glass of refreshing water right here. If you just walked across a barren desert in the middle of summer and you're extremely dehydrated, that water might save your life, right? That glass of water, it gets you some water in there, it hydrates your body, allows you to stay alive, because we need a lot of water just to operate as humans. However, if right now I was to give you a 5-gallon jug of water and you drink that whole thing, Chris, you'd probably die. As strange as that sounds, this benign substance, water, H2O, in excess, too much of a dose of water can dilute your bloodstream's content of something called sodium and potassium, right? So as potassium goes down and sodium goes down, those are two electrolytes. You probably heard electrolytes before, right? Those electrolytes help your muscles to operate, lets them move, and this includes your heart. That's a muscle, right? So if your muscle of your heart doesn't have enough electrolytes of sodium and potassium, you get what's called hyponatremia, and that's not enough sodium in the body. Too little sodium, too little potassium, muscle can't work, you have a heart attack and you die. So Not enough water, bad. You could dehydrate and die. Too much water, your heart stops working, you die. So that means water's bad, right? It's toxins. Well, no, it's the dose that makes the
Is
poison.
that also, I mean, I guess allergies? Would that be a toxin?
Certainly. So when we look at things like gluten, oh, the glutens are coming to get us, right?
Or tree nuts, or my kids have tree nut allergies, dairy allergies.
Really
so it's a toxin
depending.
for them, but not for
Certainly,
me.
certainly. So that's context, right? We're talking about context. So
Context.
for me, eating peanuts, not a big deal. For somebody that's allergic to peanuts, it could kill them. Put them into anaphylaxis, their airway swells up, they die from that. So is the peanut a toxin? Not necessarily. It's really based on the situation. That's important to understand when we look at getting rid of toxins, detox, or cleansing our body of toxins. Maybe it's not necessary for that to be the case, and there's certainly not what's going on with these purported diets and other supplements and things like that. This is something else important to understand. There are certain things like heavy metals, right, like mercury, right, and pesticides that are fat soluble that you can get if you eat a whole bunch of fruits and vegetables that weren't cleaned first. If you happen to go out to a farm that uses pesticides, well, that's organic pesticides, they use a lot more pesticides than regular farming, strangely enough, or regular farming. Pesticides sometimes can be fat soluble, and if you consume them in excess quantities, again, the dose, right, excess quantities of those pesticides, it can get concentrated in your body. You may need to go see a doctor to get something called orlistat, where they can help get rid of that concentration of pesticides so that it doesn't become a toxin. Same thing with if you eat a lot of salmon, line-caught salmon that's out in the ocean, or tuna from out in the ocean, not the farmed varieties of those because those have less concentrations of mercury, but the free swimming ones out there in the ocean, sometimes they have a lot of mercury. If you eat a ton of that stuff, canned tuna, whatnot, you might elevate the amount of mercury in your bloodstream, your body holds on that a little longer. You have systems in your body that will slowly over time get rid of these concentrations, but if for some weird reason you went on a tuna fetish and ate a whole bunch over a couple of periods of weeks, you might have to go and have, again, go to the doctor, to a hospital where they can medically treat you with various different things to get rid of the concentration.
Does that ever happen to you because you eat a lot of salmon?
I do eat a lot of salmon. I specifically choose to eat farmed salmon to avoid two basic things. One, there's less parasites in farmed salmon. You know, you oftentimes see some videos on YouTube floating around. There's worms and stuff. Oh, they're getting you the worms. That's usually free salmon that's out doing its thing out in the wild, and that's where it gets those parasites. Farmed salmon, very, very low chance of that happening. And also, the farmed salmon is given controlled feed instead of them eating other smaller fish that ate smaller fish that ate smaller fish that concentrates heavy metals over time. They don't have that issue either. So I'm kind of eliminating those two problems. That's why I like farmed salmon. So good question.
Yep.
So in those cases, yeah, you might need to go see a doctor. These aren't doctors up here doing medical procedures with your body to either chelate out heavy metals or to give you orlistat to get rid of those pesticides. In those cases, those are actual toxins because of concentration.
So I've done this juicing thing before. I'm sure a lot of you guys have, where I've done one for 3 days or 4 days, 2 days, and they give you specific drinks.
Yeah.
You know, could have beet juice, and then it's mixed with different spices and whatnot. But they tell you take this one in the morning, and take this one as a snack, and take this for lunch, dinner, blah blah blah. They give you like a pattern of what to do. So you're saying that doesn't do anything specific because they're not getting rid of anything.
So
Toxin specific.
overall, any of these diets or supplements or juices, wherever they're claiming to detox or cleanse your body, they're not doing anything. We'll talk about this in just a second, the things in your body that actually do the detoxing or cleansing. You have organs that do that for you. But to speak to the juices out there, there's lots of, I've seen these myself, they are really pretty colors just like this. You did a good job. As usual, Chris does an amazing job with the artistic aspects of what we have up here. Those really pretty looking juices that have the timing, Mondays drink this, Tuesday drink that, whatever it is, oftentimes what you'll see happens with this, and we'll talk about this more later also, is they're saying drink this instead of having food, right? So what you're doing is you're essentially controlling your calories, reducing total calories going into your body because you're only drinking juices, or you're replacing a meal with just a juice, right? You're just having less calories go in, so you'll most likely lose some weight after a couple days or a week or however long that juice cleanse goes for. And if you lose weight and you're overweight, you'll probably feel better. If you feel better, you're like, magic happened, I'm cleansed, all the toxins are gone, but nothing really changed inside your body from a toxin standpoint. But I'm not saying juices are bad, they're just let's not misrepresent what's occurring inside the body in reality.
Yep.
And they are pretty colors too. I really like those
Yeah.
things. Some of them are tasty.
That's why I think it's part of the branding why everyone's doing it.
Absolutely, great visual, right? So I've mentioned before, and I should give more detail of the organs in your body that are actually meant to do this detoxing process. So you have a liver inside your body that helps to pull different things from the bloodstream. When there's metabolism of proteins or fats, some of the byproducts, in this case like ammonia, is a byproduct of one of those metabolisms. If there's too much ammonia in your body, it could be bad. Remember, the concentration, right, makes it a problem. If there's too much, that can become a problem. So the liver can convert ammonia into urea. The urea goes into the bloodstream. Your kidneys pull the urea out, and it goes into your urine stream. You pee it out. That's one way of getting rid of toxins there. You also have these things called your lungs, right? When you have sugar metabolism, the main energy source our body uses to do things, that make our muscles go and our brain to operate, when you metabolize sugar, one of the byproducts is carbon dioxide, right? So carbon dioxide is a byproduct. We need to get rid of it. There's too much, you've got to get it out. So the bloodstream pumps it to the lungs exchange that gas, and you breathe out carbon dioxide so you don't have too much building up. That's why oftentimes when we exercise, especially high intensity exercise that uses sugar as a metabolism ingredient, you'll start breathing, you get done with that, that was tough exercise. That heavy breathing is not necessarily you trying to get more oxygen in, because you weren't really using oxygen when you're doing high intensity exercise. You were just getting rid of or ventilating out the carbon dioxide from that sugar metabolism. A lot of people don't know that. They think, man, I need more oxygen.
Yeah.
You're actually getting rid of carbon dioxide. That's why you're breathing so heavy. So, a little fun fact there for you. So, your liver, your kidneys, and your lungs, they already are getting rid of your toxins or high concentrations of things that could become toxic. That's how your body is made to work. That's what it does. Now, if your liver's messed up, if you have some kind of problem with your liver, then you might want to look into some issue with your doctor to make sure that your liver, you're making up the difference there. If you have kidney failure, renal failure, hey, you might need to go down and have those toxin concentrations gotten rid of by getting a dialysis. That's what that's for, is the buildup there, because your kidneys aren't doing their job. If your lungs aren't working, same thing. Some people don't have enough gas exchange and not getting the oxygen in or the carbon dioxide out, and they might have to go have something done with the doctor. But those are medical conditions, not things that we can drink a juice for, take a pill for, or go on a special diet to change that out and fix that problem. Those are medical conditions. So the three things our body does to get rid of most of its toxins: we breathe it out, carbon dioxide, we pee it out through urine, and we poop it out. Some of the stuff that your liver does and the byproducts that it gets rid of, it actually puts right down into your intestine and pushes that out through the colon. So we already have three main ways of getting rid of toxins, and that's how our body stays healthy, operational, in the event there's a concentration change of something that could become toxic. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So if your body is functioning properly, which most of us it is, you're already detoxing or cleansing yourself on a daily basis, 24 hours a day. It's already happening. If you're alive and you're breathing and peeing and pooping also.
And if you do have an issue,
Go see a doctor.
go see a doctor.
Go see a doctor.
Don't try one of these things to fix one of these real
Yes,
problems you
yes.
have. So.
If your kidneys are going bad, don't try and bypass that whole thing and just have some, beet juice. Probably not a good idea. We like our viewers out there. We want you to stay alive, so get medical help, right?
I got a funny story about the beet juice. I drank it and cleansed, and the first time I did it,
Yeah, is that
I
right?
went to the bathroom, pooped,
Thought you were dying,
red.
didn't you? Yes.
That was blood. I knew I'd been drinking. At first I thought, like, oh my God, what happened? I'm dying. But then I was like, oh, it must be the beet juice. So I got my wife. I kind of scared her. I'm like, babe, I'm pooping blood. I gotta go to the hospital. Freaked her out. Pretty funny.
Very common. I've had a lot of people come to me and say that exact same thing. When you eat a lot of beets, because you're like, oh, I found out beets are great for you, and you eat a whole bunch, or you drink beet juice the first time. That does go through our system and ends up pooping it out, and it is bright red. You think you're bleeding out and dying the first time you say that, and you're like, oh, that's right, I ate beets. So kind of scary if you don't remember. So what is the value of a detox diet or a cleanse? There is value here. What I don't want to do is badmouth this whole concept, but rather make sure that you, the viewer, understands that there could be a value prospect. So the standard American diet, which is very sad, by the way, usually consists of real high calorie density foods like hamburger over here. Chris didn't cook his burger, by the way. It's kind of pink there in the middle, which we're okay. I like things that are more raw myself.
That's rare burger.
Yeah, I like to think of it as a beef tartare burger.
I got ruined in that one episode when he told me not to overcook it because then you could be poisoning yourself.
Overcooking's not bad, not good, right? Too much is too much. Your banana split over here, high calorie density with ice cream. So a lot of Americans eat foods that not only taste great and look amazing, but they're also really dense in calories. This is a great thing about where we are in society and the world, is we have foods available to us that are really high calorie density, as opposed to hundreds, if not thousands of years ago. Low-calorie foods was all we had. We had to scrape it together. There weren't very many overweight people 2,000 years ago, anywhere. If you were overweight, you were royalty or something because you had access to good food. Most people were thin and skinny and whatnot because they just didn't have it. So, in our society today, in the standard American diet, some of these detox diets tell you, hey, eat more fruits and vegetables and raw stuff because it's good for you. Well, sure, it can be good for you, especially if you have a weight loss goal. And if you do, changing from high calorie density foods that are probably low in nutrients, like micronutrients, like vitamins, minerals, and enzymes, and going to broccoli and salads and things that are in that arena, you're going to reduce total calories. You'll probably also reduce total amount of sugar you're consuming. And by reducing calories, that moves you towards losing weight. That's a good thing if your goal is weight loss. And by reducing excess amounts of sugar, you'll probably also reduce some of the stored sugar in your muscles. And it's called glycogen when you store your muscles. Interesting thing, when you store sugar inside your muscles, it stores with water. It becomes this molecule called glycogen. It's just another name for water plus sugar combined in the muscles. And if you start to reduce excess amounts of sugar and that glycogen starts to come down a little bit, you'll lose water weight as well. So a lot of people that'll go on a detox diet or a cleanse in the first few days because they had way less calories because they're just drinking juices, or they go to salads or whatever, way less calories and less sugar, there's less water stored in the body, you'll lose pounds just like that. It wasn't necessarily fat that you lost, it was just weight that you lost. So the scale goes down, you're like, hey, that's working! Again, I think what people forget is that these things are purporting to get rid of toxins. If they inadvertently make you lose weight, hey, what a great side effect, that's wonderful, but weight isn't a toxin, right? Wow. So you might not like it, and that's okay to have a weight loss goal, a fat loss goal, but the claim that detox diets and cleanses rid the body of toxins, it's just not the case. Lungs, kidneys, liver, kidneys, and lungs, that's what those are for, if they're doing their job properly. It's definitely not our juices or even fruits and vegetables over here, not getting rid of that. But you get this wonderful side effect sometimes of moving to a lower calorie situation and or less excessive amounts of sugar so you can lose some water weight there. That's not necessarily a bad thing.
I've seen a lot of things with adding coffee to your cleanse. Mm-hmm. Anything there?
So this is something you hear about a lot on the web, and there's this really sort of side strange thing over here about people that like do coffee enemas. I would recommend drinking your coffee with this hole up here, not down there. It tastes better that way, that's just me. Coffee, the active ingredient being caffeine, is a central nervous system stimulant. It will be a diuretic. It means it's going to make you pee and poop most likely. And if you do that, you'll probably lose a little bit of weight. You'll dehydrate your body a little bit water levels go down because you're urinating more. Your kidneys are actually pulling more water from inside the bloodstream, so you'll lose some body weight there. Not good, not bad. It's not getting rid of toxins, mostly because that's what these things are for. So, is it good, is it bad? Hey, I like coffee. I think it's a great addition to most people. It has some positive health benefits, but it really has nothing to do with toxins. Other than the fact that you're peeing and pooping more, which you would have done anyway. It just sort of accelerates it, makes it happen right now. So.
To me, I'm sure to you guys, it's very eye-opening. And as we can tell, and he said it already, this claim myth has been debunked by Mr. Parsons here.
Fiction, definitely fiction.
It's fiction. Fiction. So if you have any questions, like always, you can leave comments below. The professor will get up there and type you some answers. If you ever want to bring a topic up, maybe we'll add it to our Fact or Fiction Fridays.
All of our topics here are really driven by not just my experience with working with clients or things that Chris and I have had, but our viewers out there that watch videos like this one. Oftentimes they'll give us some subject, they have questions. So feel free to put that in the comments below because that'll give us topics that you're interested in that we can hopefully prove true if it's a fact, or maybe give you some information to show that it's actually fiction, depending on what it is.
And a little fun little tip here, if you think Jason is full of crap and you think on the other side, post it, yeah, and he'll argue with you about it.
Yes, I'll argue. Hey, and guess what? If you can prove I'm wrong on something, I will learn something. If you can prove that, everybody else will learn because I'll admit to it in the comments if that's actually the case. If it's not, I'll probably make fun of you, but that's okay.
We hope you enjoyed this myth. I am the guinea pig, Christopher McCall. He is the Professor Jason Parsons. Till next week. See you later. Cut! Cut!